Hi guys, it's Alani. I'm going to take you guys through a leg day today because right now I am focusing on fat loss but retaining as much muscle as possible. So to do that, we need to keep training intensity super high. So I figured I would take you guys along with me for one of my leg days. If you are trying to grow your glutes, you're trying to grow your legs and stay lean, this is definitely the workout for you, because just because you're trying to stay lean doesn't mean that you want to lift lighter. We still want to be lifting heavy. We still want to be keeping that training intensity super high because that is what builds that muscle underneath. And as you guys all know, you've heard me say it a bunch of times, nutrition is the biggest part of that as well. But we want to make sure that we're building and keeping that muscle underneath, and that's where training comes in. So let's get into it. It's going to be a good leg day. All right. First movement of leg day, we're gonna do a heavy compound. So going into hip thrusts, this is my first set though. So we're gonna go lighter. Really the focus right now is getting as much blood into the muscle, getting nice and warm before we really go in with intensity. So you can do this on a machine, you can do this barbell, whatever you wanna do. My first set especially, I'm focusing on really connecting to the glutes. So here, I'm gonna be driving actually through my big toe and focusing on tempo, slow to the bottom, quick to the top. And I get like 15 to 20 reps for this warm up. Adding a little bit of weight now. We say as we have, what is this, 180 pounds on the bar right now? So going into our first working set, if you're training right, you really only need like 2 to 3 working sets where you're going to failure. And what I mean by that is you're not doing another rep with perfect form. Like you're at your peak, you can't do another rep. That's what your training intensity should be for those 2 to 3 working sets. So that's where we're gonna get into this one. So I'm aiming for like 12 to 15 reps, but again, just going until failure. That felt pretty good. So honestly, progressive overload is one of the most important things when it comes to training. You guys have probably heard of that, either me talking about it or on social media. And what that means is each week, bi-weekly, something like that, you're increasing in weights, you're increasing in reps. That's always the goal when we're training, right? Obviously when your food is getting lower, maybe it's not gonna be as often, but for example, practical application of this, I was doing 2 plates on here and I got about 18 reps when I went to failure. I wanna be in that rep range of like 12 to 15. So, okay, I need to add some weight so that I'm beating my previous self and still staying in that rep range. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stay at this weight for the last 2 working sets. Alrighty, now it's time for some torture. So we're doing some single leg press, which I like. I can really isolate the upper glute and feel some tension throughout my hamstring, which is awesome. So we're gonna load in on here. I'm gonna do, I just did 1 warm-up set from like 12 to 15, and now I'm gonna take it to failure. What I like to do here is keep my feet, my stance pretty much high and wide, and I'm pushing through my heel. That way I'm getting a little bit more glute out of it. Most important part is stretching all the way to the bottom. So I'm gonna come nice and slow to the bottom, drive through that heel to the top.
I had 1 hand. That was so
Alrighty, these are tough, but super important for leg growth. Yeah, these are killer. Anyways, I am doing 3 working sets, so this is my last and final working set. Again, taking this to failure within like 12 to 15 reps. So let's get this over with. wasn't sure if I'd get that last rep. All right, almost done. These are hard. All right, don't let me skipping fool you. I'm dying this leg day. I know. I'm dying. All right, I got rudely interrupted because I forgot to empty my camera and it got filled up. But as I was saying, next movement is lying hammy curls, which is nice because we get to lay down for a second, but not relaxing, focusing on stretching throughout the hamstring and then contracting fully to the top so we can get a good squeeze to the glutes, to the hamstrings, and all those good things. I'm doing one warm-up set, 15, 20 reps lighter, and then going to failure for 3 sets, taking it about 12 to 15 reps to failure. Next movement is abductors, really hit those abductors and upper glutes. So what I like to do on this is make sure that I'm hinged all the way back. I scoot my hips forward so I can really feel the squeeze right here through the upper glutes. Again, I'm gonna do one warm-up set and then I'm gonna take 3 sets to failure, about like 12, 15, maybe even close to 20 reps, whatever it takes to get to failure. Notice how on every single movement, no matter what it is, upper body, lower body, a lunge, a hip thrust, I'm really focusing on my tempo. So controlling that movement and getting a full squeeze where you should feel the movement. So for this one, squeezing through that upper glute because that's what we're targeting. Now getting into our working sets. So I'm gonna increase the weight a little bit. Still focusing on that tension and going to failure. Here we go. Next glute movement we're gonna do to finish off this leg day and really target that glute medius, side glute, to get the nice round shelf that a lot of people are looking for, is a glute medial kickback. This one can be a little bit tricky for if you haven't done this variation before, but all you really do, step over. This is gonna become my base leg. And then I'm kicking back at 45 degrees, squeezing through that side glute. This one I'm doing 3 sets. I'm gonna go to failure at around 15 reps. A little bit higher rep here. Other side, here we go. Alright, so that wraps up this leg day. That is what I do every Monday to make sure that my glutes are growing and I'm retaining the muscle that I built in my lean growth season. Now I'm eating my post-workout meal because again, nutrition is the most important part of that. Like if you are not fueling right, you're not gonna see the change that you wanna see no matter how hard you're training and how perfect your training is. So as always, I offer my free nutrition review in the description below if you want me to take a look at your nutrition and everything like that. I also offer my coaching in the description. So thank you guys so much for following along with this leg day and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.